The clock is ticking even further behind them. There's battling amongst the lap cars for what looks to be third, but it's not for position at all. As you look back at the 3 and the 75, Garrett Lowe has seemingly used the lap traffic to close into Kerwin. And now that they've gotten a little bit of real estate to play with, and the big thing here is now they've got the 2311 Toyota in between them. So that's almost a buffer that is separating the two. I'm not sure that there's going to be anything left here for Garrett Lowe, because Casey Kerwin, with a little bit of clean racetrack up the road before he gets to the next cars, will see the white flag. 1 lap to go here in Los Angeles. We talked so much about what the story for him was last season, opening the campaign with a trip to victory lane in the Clash and bookending with a championship. And Casey Kerwin will start 2023 in identical fashion. The outside, it's attempt number 2 at a green-white checker, overtime, restart, green flag in the air. Kerwin leads it at 2 to go.
And Malik Ray was laying far back from Cozy. That's not going to help him. He's already dipped down in line, so Cozy, no help there on the high side as Malik Ray went right to the bottom, going to hook up with Tucker Minter. You see Donovan Strauss, and I don't think they're going to make that work. They're 4 wide, and nobody has spun yet. They're still off the pace, but they are still racing hard up the front. 3-car tandem breakaway at the front of the field with Kerwin, Minter, and Malik Ray.
Still not through the clear yet in the back, but up front, single file on the outside line. Kerwin, Minter, the lead duo. A couple of drivers take a peek to the inside. The 23s down there all on his lonesome. But Casey Kerwin, will he get to it this time? As the race leader, white flag in the air. 1 lap to go in Daytona.
Tucker Minter's got a shot. Is this finally Malik Ray's chance to go to victory lane for the first time? All 3 cars right behind Casey Kerwin have never won in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series, and they have their chance here off of turn number 2. Here comes Cozy to the bottom, and he's got help with his front row teammate.
It is the Front Row Motorsports duo on the bottom, but the bump by Bose loosened up Cozy. They're both going to have to eject and go back up to the outside line. Kerwin, Minter, Ray, now the one of Bordeaux. Your top 4 cars as they race off of turn number 4 for the final time. What can Tucker Minter do in his first career start? There's contact. Kerwin's into the outside wall, and Tucker Minter finds victory lane in his first career eNASCAR race. Back in line and reset with 3 laps to go. Here comes Ottinger.
I think Ottinger's got better tires. Conti drove away in clean air. Ottinger was sitting back saving. He's going to have to cut through the dirty air a little bit, but you can see Ottinger, center of the corner, has a little bit better drive right now than Michael Conti.
2 of the very best drivers all time in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series gonna put on a battle at the Milwaukee Mile. Conti's got it, Ottinger wants it, and it's really a wash on the gains that time by. The gap is still 2 car lengths with 2 laps to go.
And again, Ottinger just has to stay close. He can have his shot if he wants it into turn number 3. We know these two very friendly with one another. They've known each other for a long time. Conti, though, able to get a little bit of a better exit off of turn 2. But Ottinger, you can see how deep he's driving in, trying to make up any ground he can on Michael Conti.
He really drove it in, but it washed out on the entry, and Conti's lead will grow. White flag in the air one more time from Milwaukee. Michael Conti in his final season, arguably in his most competitive form ever. If he can win this, he'll get a win in 4 straight seasons for the first time in his career. Ottinger tries, but there's nothing left, and Michael Conti gonna come at a turn number 4. Career win number 14 comes at the Milwaukee Mile. For the race win, it's Wilson to the inside and Lopez to the outside. 2 laps to go at Atlanta. Green flag back in the air. It's a good jump for the bottom. Wilson's got the upper hand. Deadlocked for second to turn 1.
And Wilson, this is not good for him. He has a little bit too much of a lead. Lopez and Leahy are hooked up pretty well, so Wilson going to have to make a move here. Where's he going to block? He's going to stay blocking low. Leahy not going to make the move yet. Keister, Cozy, they're all in line on the bottom. That top side did not get rolling very well.
And a couple of cars trying to look to the middle to make it 3 wide. Zelensky, the instigator. Now the 3-car. Lopez loses all of his help. He'll drop back. White flag in the air. This race is official.
And Wilson going to block down to the bottom. Who steps out of line first? Is it Leahy? Is it Keister? Is it Michael Cozy Jr. off at 2? Leahy's out a shove. Here comes Cozy with a run. Keister shoves Wilson into turn number 3.
Side by side for second. Wilson still the advantage. Pushed by Colin Keister. 3 wide behind. Off at turn 4. Keister looks. He can't do it. Steven Wilson returns to eNASCAR victory lane. Long way to go. 14 rounds in the regular season, so 10 more after tonight, but room for improvement for Steven Wilson. Needing a good points night. Where does he find himself in the field here tonight? 20th. Not great. Not also enough, though, I think, to make up for that top 20 in the points as they run now. Counting them down, going to be 2 laps to go. The gap for Zelensky only growing.
Yeah, it has just been a one-horse race here tonight at Richmond. Bobby got to the front, but not only did he have qualifying speed, he has just the outright fastest car here. He only needs a couple more circuits to get it done. As Busa on the bottom, Corey Vincent right now. Again, this is for the 9th position. First side-by-side battle we have on this racetrack, but Evan, tonight it has been all about Bobby Z as he'll come around and take the white flag.
Tucker Minter back there trying to make it 3 wide, but you're right. White flag in the air for Bobby Zelensky. Every season, a perennial playoff driver and seemingly a perennial contender year in and year out in the championship 4. And Bobby takes a big step in that direction again here tonight at Richmond. Final time off 4. Bobby Zelensky wins at Richmond Raceway.
That at a track like this, we don't often see rookies do very well at road courses in this series, and yet they've really shown out tonight.
3 of the top 7 cars in the field right now are rookies. So, worth noting again, they've been doing a real good job. Minter, Lopez, White, 2, 5, 7 on track. Cozy's 12th, Holmes is 15th. So, really good showing from the rookies. You're absolutely right. It's going to be the second to last time that Zelensky comes off of the final corner as there's contact midfield there that puts the 69 Colin Bowden off and into the grass. He'll be okay, though, and will right the ship before they head back down to the heavy braking zone as they go through Ascari. More contact there. The midfield 3 wide as they're going to make the run down to the Parabolica. White flag in the air up front, though, for Bobby Zelensky.
Every single driver is going to try to drive hard for all of these points. We know how much they matter, and I think you made a great point there. And Wilson making his way up into the top 10. Conti, a little bit of a block here on Michael Cozy Jr. This is for 11th spot. Cozy been quicker the last handful of laps, but I think, this is a tough decision. Cozy backs up, doesn't want to go in here too wide. You want this position, but again, I think you got to be points racing at a certain point in this night, and a good decision right there by Cozy to try and lay back and get him later in the lap. But as you mentioned earlier, such an impressive job here for Bobby Zelensky. We talked about how great he was at Richmond. No shocker to see him running well on this road course. He wanted to come back and try to do one up from Watkins Glen, and he looks well on his way to doing it.
He's found success at many of the road courses on the calendar with wins at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, Roval, the Daytona road course in Sonoma, but he is going to add Monza to that list. Final time as Zelensky races through the Parabolica, and in eNASCAR's international debut, Bobby Zelensky wins at Monza.
Malik Ray and Colin Keister, your top 2 runners. We are back underway here in the Biggie Bag 500. Do we get back to the white, or will we try it once again?
Immediately 3 wide, trying to get a jump on the field. Malik Ray controlling it down there on the inside, but we've seen the outside maybe be the safest spot. 4 wide. Again, this is with 2 laps to go, Blake.
4 wide further back in the pack. The one car that has no help is Bobby Zielinski. The momentum and organization right now on the top lane as they're beating and banging in the back of the field. Graham Bolin has a run. Casey Kerwin goes with him. Malik Ray and Derek Bordeaux side by side with Graham Bolin and Casey Kerwin, your top 5.
A lot of experience down on that bottom line, but the top has proven to be the better spot throughout this race. But as we come to 1 to go, what can those 2 cars? We've seen 2 cars be a rocket ship.
They are wrecking across the stripe, but we reach the white flag first. 1 more lap to go here at Talladega. Malik Ray, Derek Bordeaux, and Caden Honeycutt. Right now, your top 3 runners. Honeycutt goes low to block. They're 3 wide for second. Yes, looking to make it 4. Down the Alabama gang super stretch for the final time. Here comes Colin Keister down to the bottom. He was your pole sitter. Does he have enough? Through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Michael Guest close in tow, but Malik Ray has the run up top. Down towards the tri-oval for the final time. Bordeaux goes to the outside. Bolin looking for a way around. They crash behind Malik Ray. Will anybody else have a run? And Casey Kerwin wins it by 34 one-thousandths of a second. As
defense and whatever the number is in the fuel tank of Mike Conti, he needs to make it last only 4.5 more miles.
Well, if you're Malik Ray or Garrett Lowe, you hope these drivers have run out. And I'm sure that, you know, the crew chiefs, the spotters for these drivers have been continually in their ear reminding them about fuel mileage. And remember, Conti, he may not have to back up because he already has a win. He's secure as long as he stays in the top 20 in the playoffs. As now Jordy Lopez Jr., who was sitting way back, is now trying to challenge Mullis for 3rd.
And Jordy Lopez Jr. has been coming quick late in this race on the inside. Mullis, though, not going to let him get through. And as they get tied up in a battle for 4th, that should aid Conti's worries on maybe that number 3 car getting all the way up front, looking for the white flag. There's contact on the back straightaway. No yellow yet. Conti's into the tri-oval. This race is official.
Conti gets to the white flag, but again, the biggest question, can he make it to the end on fuel, or will Ottinger, Lopez, I think Mullis may be slowing. He may be out of gas.
They're all struggling as they come off of turn number 2, but it's the 2014 Series champion looking to get his 2nd race win of 2023. Conti gonna go to lead the last 69 laps. He's under power off of turn 4, and Michael Conti wins at Las Vegas. And leader Casey Kerwin in the 95 played the green flag pitch cycle perfect, which allowed him to cycle through to the race lead. And then on a yellow, went for the 4 tires, took his time, fought through to the race lead. He was as far as a 2nd out in front, but it's less than 4/10 right now between your race leaders.
Closer and closer, reeling him in. This is the type of racing Darlington produces. Did the 95 push it too hard, too fast? Are the tires of Ottinger better than what Casey Kerwin has right now? Is this strategy? Is it the Casey Kerwin trying to hold just a little bit back for this final 2 laps? It's closer than ever.
And it almost looked like Casey was taking the hand off the shifter in 4 there and shifting like we saw Mike Conti do in that demo lap from countdown to green. Casey Kerwin, you can see trying to snake it down. There's the downshift, 5th to 4th gear, slower corner in 3 to 4. They're going to be looking for the white flag this time by Nick Ottinger's close, but he's going to need something extra. White flag in the air. This race is official. Clean racetrack up the road. Nick Ottinger has been the better car for the last 7 laps consecutively, but his fight right now is against the scoring to pile on because he's gonna run short on time. Casey Kerwin, a race winner from 2 races ago at Talladega, gonna get his 2nd win of 2023. Casey Kerwin wins at Darlington. Race winner this season season. Tucker Minter wants to be the fourth. He'll be on the front row. Garrett Maines to the outside. Green flag in the air. 2 laps to go. And the inside stack it up hard. The race leaders, though, going to make it off to turn 1. And the 12 car on the outside. Maines is right there fighting for the race lead.
This is all going to come down to Matt Bussa here. These top two going to side draft each other and kind of take each other out of the picture. Bussa may have a run. Again, Minter, your winner at Daytona. A win doesn't help him, but Garrett Maines needs a win to try and lock into the playoffs.
And Maines had the advantage as they went off to turn number 3, but off the corner, it is all Tucker Minter. They will make it official. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go from Charlotte. Maines still sits there. Started 20th. Has raced his way all the way up. Hasn't led a single lap tonight. He wants to lead the one and final one. Tucker Minter, though, serpentines down the back. They're wrecking behind. But your race leaders, home free to 3. Maines now. Shot is on. He'll throw a shot to the bumper. Minter gets sideways, boosted to the inside for second, but it is the twice as lucky for the 33 car as Tucker Minter, his second win of his. And to make up row number 3. Pace car off and in. Green flag in the air. 2 laps to go.
Maines gets a good jump. Cozy not the launch that I'm sure he would have wanted. He'll have the high side into 1 and 2. Now it just depends on where Maines ends up here on the back straightaway. He checks up a little bit, but Maines will have the drive off the corner. Cozy gets loose, though, and they'll stack up 3 wide behind him.
It's good news for Maines. 3-1 in the battle for third. Only Lopez is clear as Conti, White, and Cozy do battle behind. Here comes the 3 car now. 3 wide behind. Can they get to the white off at turn 4? Still the race lead. Garrett Maines blocks. 1 lap to go.
Jordy Lopez Jr. looking for his first career win. Same for Garrett Maines, but Michael Conti drives it in deep behind him. Garrett Maines in front of the field slides. They're going to crash behind him as Maines takes the rest of the field with him, but it is Lopez trying to hold off Conti down the back straightaway.
Lopez has got 2 tires. Conti's got 4. Final turn. Conti to the back bumper, but there is no shot. The 3 goes deep. There's the contact now. The bump and run. Side by side. Beating and banging all the way to the line. And Jordy Lopez is an eNASCAR winner for the first time ever.
Highest speeds on the racetrack here. Get hard on the brakes. Bobby Zalenski still playing defense. Not having too much of a challenge there from Parker White, so able to get a little bit of a gap as they come down this hill. We know how bumpy it is as we make this hard right-hand turn. Get on the gas once again to that skinny, narrow part on the track that we're approaching here.
Just 15 more corners for Bobby Zalenski to execute perfectly, and Parker White is going to have to outdo him. You can see White sliding and scraping the wall, making up time. It's down to about a car length or so as they cross the bridge. They'll take the right-hand turn to turn 12. White flag in the air. Is it Zalenski, Parker White, or Steven Wilson that goes to victory lane here in Chicago? One more trip to settle it.
A long straightaway here, hot on the gas, and then you get hard on the brake. It's just a wonder, will Parker White get to Bobby Zalenski first, or will Steven Wilson get to Parker White first? That can make a difference about how this lap goes for Bobby Zalenski.
You can see a little bit of a lockup there for Zalenski as he scrapes some of the Blue Cross Shield logos off of the concrete wall. Able to get away, though, through 3, and now they look forward to turn 4, and White is going to have to get a perfect run here off of turn 4 to have a shot at Zalenski. Zalenski sliding off the corner, but he'll continue to pull away.
This is that long straightaway, maybe the best passing opportunity left if you can outbrake somebody. I don't think Parker White is close enough as they make this left-hand turn. Gets a little closer, but not close enough to take advantage.
He maybe only has 1 or 2 more shots to do it. We'll see if he does it here in turn 7. Zalenski able to get a good exit. Now through East Congress Plaza Drive, a big bump in the middle of this sweeping left-hander. 2 car lengths separate your top 2. This may be White's last shot to do it. He's going to send it in here to turn 11 as he's now within a car length. Do we see a move here in turn 12? Final time here on the streets of Chicago, but he's not going to be able to get there. And Bobby Zalenski is going to win for the 3rd time this year. Attempt at eNASCAR overtime here at Nashville as they come into the Geico restart zone is green.
Not bad, but not as good as the other ones have been. Let's see what Malik Ray and company can do if Jimmy Mullis gets a clean look into turn 1 and 2.
Mullis is clear for the race lead. They're going to go 3 wide for second. Here comes Garrett Lowe to the bottom. He's got fresh tires down the back straightaway. He's going to go all the way to the bottom. Ottinger's going to have to back out. Does Garrett Lowe have enough time to chase down Jimmy Mullis as they'll move off of turn number 4? They'll take the white flag. This race is official.
Down into turn 1. Let's see the advantage here as Garrett Lowe knows he has a better advantage. Comes up on the bumper of Jimmy Mullis. Jimmy Mullis moves high. We're going down the backstretch, Blake.
Mullis moves down to the bottom to block Garrett Lowe. Garrett Lowe will move to the top side by side into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Mullis will drive it in. They'll make contact off of turn 4. Lowe gets put into the wall, and Jimmy Mullis will win at Nashville Superspeedway.
15 to the inside of the front row. Freshest tires, Novak, the 75 on the inside of row 2. Green flag in the air, 2 laps to go, and it's a mighty start for the 15 car.
A great start for him, and again, they went side by side for second into turns 1 and 2. That's perfect. That's exactly what Garrett Lowe needs. If Novak side drafts Strauss, he's pretty much going to take him and Strauss out of the going, and that's exactly what they get. Need to try to get back to the white flag. That's the one thing that Garrett Lowe wants to see.
Needs to get to the white for this race to be official. Barney the flagman stands ready as there was smoke behind, but this race is official. The battle for second has Novak on the inside of Strauss. The battle behind them for 4th sees Tinsley fight with Michael Conti, but all that matters up front is Garrett Lowe, entered tonight 14th in the points and outside of the playoffs with 2 races to go. He'll come off a turn 4 with a golden ticket in hand. Garrett Lowe wins. Time Guest looking to race his way into the playoffs. The control car on the inside of the front row, calling about it up to second. Garrett Lowe is 3rd. Green flag back in the air. It's a good jump for the inside. Guest pulls up quickly though. There's no drafting help for Garrett Lowe.
They are already 5 wide around Michael Cozy Jr. They almost look 6. And right now, if you're Jimmy Mullis, you're at the back end of that line. You're the 46. You're just trying to survive. You're hoping something happens in front of you and you can miss and make up some spots. He's 3 points out right now. Michael Guest still your leader, though, but that may not be the case for long.
You see Mullis 100 back, 99 back for the car in 20th, so Mullis is 1 point out of the top 20, but here comes a big swing. Nick Ottinger to the inside of Michael Guest for the race lead. Both cars equal tires, side by side in turn 3. They're going to make contact, trying to get to the white flag for this race to be official. We'll get there. 1 lap to go as they race on the checkered paint to turn 1.
Ottinger is already in. How much does he push the issue? Because essentially he's taking Guest out of the playoffs right now if he were to hit him. Here comes Malik Ray with a huge run into 3rd.
Malik Ray can get in on points, or he can get in with a race win. Ottinger goes low. He wants to dodge the draft. The 45 car, though, a Guest will not go away.
Malik Ray is going to have a huge run here into turn 2 if they go side by side. Ottinger up the racetrack. He's loose. Malik Ray going to look low down to the bottom as they wreck off of turn number 2. Can Ray get his first Coke Series win?
Tried to go to the inside, 3 wide, couldn't get there. Look at the 97 car, but he'll take his teammate out. Busa pushes Ottinger, but it's too much to handle. And Michael Guest will win at Pocono. To make the moves and look for Garrett Lowe to try to punch his ticket to the championship 4 right here, right now. Pace car down and in. It's attempt number 2 at eNASCAR overtime. Green flag in the air.
Oh, Mains into the back of Lowe as Lowe through the block on the 12 car. Again, how aggressive is Lowe going to be? A potential $100,000 move for him as he's going to be side by side with Ryan Luza down the backstretch.
He's going to go all the way to the bottom, trying to break the draft as the 12 of Maines tries to follow behind. Loser, though, going to get the benefit of the draft up top. He tries to come down. Not clear, though. And on the inside, Garrett Lowe, new race leader. The 10 of Wilson on the outside. He'll look for second spot. Barney awaits them at the flag stand. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go.
Garrett Lowe has the lead. They're 3 wide behind them. Michael Guest has an opportunity here if he can get clear of Garrett Maines for second as they touch and make contact through the corner. Steven Wilson also on the outside of Maines, but it is all Garrett Lowe out front.
A whole lot of points up for grabs, but all those drivers in red won as the race win. Here comes Steven Wilson. Looks to the inside. Guest, Lopez, they make contact for 3rd and 4th behind. And off of turn 4, Garrett Lowe will take the win at Michigan and punch his ticket.
15 driving a pretty defensive line, entering maybe a quarter of a groove up, then shutting the door on the 10. The 10 trying to be patient. He knows laps are running out, but you can only do so much. He's got to look now to the inside. The 15 is going to climb the banking, try to get it turned and stay to his outside. I don't believe he's going to be able to do it. The 10 will clear, but does he have enough speed or time with only 3 to go to run Ottinger down?
Yeah, he lets by Steven Wilson as he went way up the racetrack line. He hasn't run all evening long. Wilson gets by for second. I'm sure Mola's going to try to do the same here. And again, we've seen this before at Michigan. A lot happened in the back of the field to flip this race. Is it going to happen here? 2 to go now for Nick Ottinger.
2 to go, and just a touch faster Wilson is than Ottinger, but only 0.05 of a second.
It's not much.
We saw the patience pay off for the 10. Maybe too little too late on those 2 tires, but if he comes home second place to get past, 1 lap to go, Blake.
They'll come around and see the white flag this time. 1 more trip around Dover Motor Speedway for Nick Ottinger, the former series champion, looking to get back to championship form as he has a 3-car length lead at Dover into 3 and 4 for the final time. It looks like it's not going to be enough for Steven Wilson, and Nick Ottinger has secured his spot in the championship 4.
Zelensky, Lowe, they watch on from row number 2. Green flag in the air. There's contact already, and Kerwin's going to get a little bit loose. Minter gains the advantage.
That's exactly what Minter needed. Not a great start for Kerwin. They're going to be side by side behind him. Garrett Lowe lifted for Kerwin there to let him back up. But Minter, is he going to have room? They're going to be side by side behind him. 3 and 4 wide throughout the field. Does something happen here on the backstretch?
Can't block them both. Goes to the inside. Zelensky gives him the bump and run. Caution flag flies as they were side by side before the white flag. This race is over, and I think by a few feet, Tucker Minter, scored as the leader at the moment of caution, will win this Logitech G120 and advance to the championship 4 in his rookie campaign. I mean, a half-second later, and that was the second time, by the way, in overtime, that Bobby Zelensky was about a half a second away from taking the race lead in turn 3, and as the only car really to stay out, somehow, some way, Tucker Minter has done it. It's his 3rd race win of 2023. Tucker Minter wins at Phoenix.
Each run has been really tough on that 15 car.
Well, here comes the leader, Donovan Strauss, with Steven Wilson in tow. You see the gap, 2.8 seconds back to 3rd. Wilson now just wants to see these laps count down. 3 to go this time by.
Trying to finish the deal. It has been such a strong night for Steven Wilson, maybe favored by some to have won this race here at Homestead last year. I'm sure was a big fan even when we were back in Daytona earlier this year that Homestead was put as the championship race. It's a racetrack that he likes. a driver who has been in this series for several years now and has been here to the Championship 4 stage looking to seal the deal.
Well, the driver is cool as a cucumber. The family
Is not.
Is not. This is the best part. Like I mentioned before with Casey Kerwin, this is what delivered the human element of this eNASCAR series, to see all the family that supports these drivers. They're here in attendance, and now it's under 3 miles for Steven Wilson in the 10 car.
And again, this was such a difficult season for Steven. He won at Atlanta back in our second race, but he had a difficult time getting in the top 20 to be playoff eligible. It was a long road to just be able to use that win to be able to make the playoffs, but it looks like he's going to put it to good use as he'll come around and take the white flag this time by.
Steven Wilson, a 5-time eNASCAR winner, competing in his 3rd season of competition, trying to close the deal. Donovan Strauss, the race leader, who started on a pole position and has sat there all night long, looks to close it out as well as we head to 3 and 4 for the very last time. He's on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen in front of his friends and family at the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Donovan Strauss is going to win the race, but Steven Wilson has done it. The 2023 eNASCAR iRacing World Champion.